If you want to continue to follow our adventure, click subscribe. So you don't miss anything, click the bell notification. Hello, Last on the Road subscribers and followers. I keep hearing people on blogs and Facebook and YouTube tell people that they can come out here, live on the BLMs and the National Forest, and live cheaply, and so that if you're in financial trouble or if you just want to live the nomadic lifestyle, that you can come out here and you're going to save a ton of money. As people hear I'm going to save a ton of money, I don't have to worry about getting money. Well, that's not true. Even some of the YouTubers are saying you have to be able to have a revenue source. You're at least going to have a part-time job. Let me continue on before I explain some of the problems with just coming out here and having a part-time job. I've heard that some folks say that when the next recession that there are going to be a lot of people coming out to the BLMs to live. Well, the same thing, you're still going to have a job. You can't just stop working. You have to have food, you have to have gas, you have to have insurance, you have to have these things. Just because you're moving out of your home doesn't mean that you get to stop making money. Well, here's where the problem comes in. Let's just assume for a minute that you don't have an emergency fund. Let's just say we don't have an emergency fund. My revenue source, which is online work, doing online work, the YouTube videos, and doing some database programming, dries up. It just dries up. And I don't have an emergency fund, so I can go back and get into a stick and brick and go get a job. That means, let's say I have to go get a job now. I go and I apply at the local Walmart. And they hire me, and I got a job. Well, the first thing I'm going to have to do is buy some clothes, because I've been living out here as a nomad, and I have 2 pairs of clothes that I change back and forth to. Well, it's just totally acceptable as a nomad, but working at Walmart, it's not. Well, that means I got to go spend all this money that I don't have to buy clothes, because my money just dried up. I don't have an emergency fund, remember? I go and buy these clothes. Now I got to have someplace to store them. I live in a car or a camper. I don't have a place to store clothes. So now they're all wrinkled and messed up. And I got to figure out how to do laundry. All the while, I'm trying to maintain this job. So I'm here for 2 weeks. I get to stay here for 2 weeks. And then I got to move. Well, if you're in a BLM, you got to move 25 to 50 miles away. So here you are. You're right next door to your job for 2 weeks. And then you have to move 25 to 50 miles away. So I'm driving 40 miles to get to work and 40 miles back. I'm not seeing the cost savings right this minute, because I got the maintenance on the car just went up. I got gas mileage. I got all these things starting to rack up. So now you start getting desperate. And now you're starting to park into the parking lot that you work at Walmart. I'm just using the Walmart scenario. So you're parking at Walmart. Well, eventually they're going to say, why are you staying in the Walmart parking lot? Why aren't you living in a house? Okay. Well, if you are in the National Forest, you have to have a cell signal. And that is not easy to do. So here you are 40 miles away trying to find a cell signal. You can't have a cell signal, so you're driving further out. You're doing all kinds of things. You have to have a cell signal in case something goes wrong. You have to call into work. You don't want to lose your job. And then you have to worry about taking showers. Now, I know a lot of people who say that you don't have to take showers while you're living as a nomad. I'll make a video. I'll put a link to that video I just made about that right here. And they say, well, as a nomad, you don't have to take showers. Well, if you're working at Walmart, you have to take showers. They're not going to let you come around the public, their customer base, smelling bad. Well, option number 1 is you figure out, like we did, how to put a shower in your camper. Which means now, and I just made a video about this, you have to go find water all the time. You have to keep a supply of water. Well, are you going to dump out your water every time you go to town, and then come back and refill your water? See what I'm saying? Because now you're going to take a shower every day, whereas Carolyn and I, we take a shower every 2 to 3 days, depending on the temperature. You have to set up your shower tent. Let's say you have to set up a shower tent. Let's just assume that. That means you have to break it down every morning when you go to work. Another thing you have to think about is, okay, you are now without house, without an address. And if you're not a domicile, or whatever they call that, which I don't think you're going to be a domicile if you're in Wisconsin. You live in Wisconsin. That's your home. You've just lost your house, so you're going to go live in a car. I'm really thinking these are not good options, living in a car trying to work. I don't understand the mentality that you're going to come out here, live the free life, but you have to have at least a part-time job to live. How are you going to do that? They're not explaining that. Okay, so finally, summer is starting to wrap up. We're going to start heading into fall, into winter. And, the shower is not going to be a big problem now because, you're not stinking. Maybe wet wipes will start working. Excellent. Okay. Well, here we are, we're in Wisconsin. Let's use Wisconsin as an example. We're in Wisconsin in December, January, negative 20 degrees, and you're in your car or van, and you're working a part-time job at Walmart. Propane has just went up in price, and you got to stay warm. I'm not understanding how anybody can suggest that you should come out and live out here because it's a cheaper lifestyle and still say you have to have a job, a part-time job. I'm not understanding that. It makes no sense to me. Carolyn and I have to work, and we put in a lot of hours. Of course, I do online work. This lifestyle fits me. But how is anybody that is being convinced to come out here and live going to be able to maintain a job in the climates of Wisconsin in the winter, or in the summer heat of Arizona in the BLMs? And I'm using these two extreme conditions because that is what's being suggested. Now, they have also suggested that you're going to have to travel, let's just say that you live in Arizona, okay? First, you have to be able to get a job at, say, Quartzsite. Well, Quartzsite's going to run out of jobs eventually because it's a very small town. But let's say you get a job at Walmart and Quartzsite, if there is one, I don't know. So you get a job at Walmart, Quartzsite, and you're out in the BLM. It's summertime. 110 degrees is what they tell me. Well, they say, okay, now you need to go up in elevation. You need to go up 8,000 feet so you can stay cool. Are you going to make it to work? See, the logic that they're telling us that we all need to come out here and live because it's a cheaper lifestyle and everything's wonderful and everything's perfect, I don't see how it all works. I don't get it. And I've been living out here a year, but I have an emergency fund, which we've had to dip into twice. If we hadn't had an emergency fund, our adventure would have been over, we'd have been dead broke, and life would have been terrible, absolutely terrible. And I wish somebody would say, look, guys, I know I keep telling you to come on out here and live, but here's the things you're going to run into that is just not going to work for you. And you really need to think these through. And this is how you're going to do it. Think about that before you just run out here and say, well, I'm going to live in my car and have a part-time job. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Click like if you like video. And happy travels.